All right, boom, baby, we're live. We're back, guys. I think we're good to go. Ryan, how's it on your end?
The audio is clear and crisp, brother.
Uh,
Thankfully.
thank, thank the God, thank God above. All right, we're here, guys. Welcome to the game room, episode 12, mastering frame with women, so you can focus and build a life without chaos. Featuring my man, the Irish James Bond, Mr. Ryan Unhinged. Ryan, welcome to the show. We got the stuff working, man. We're in the money.
Mate, I'm delighted. I thought that was going down the toilet before it even started there, mate. I was like, oh no, here we go. It's good to see you, brother.
Hey, listen, I'm so happy to get this show on the road because I really, truly think you are a fucking amazing guy. I think you live an amazing life. And here on the game room, guys, this is where we teach you real life stuff that works with women. None of this gimmicky PUA crap, none of this toxic crap you hear everywhere else. If you're looking to lead and guide a woman, have a family, have a relationship, whatever the case may be, Ryan is going to share us his story. And Ryan, let's just jump right into it.
All right.
Go ahead, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your brand, and I'll kind of ask you some interview questions as you go along.
Yeah, sure. So look, in terms of the brand, frame is really at the center of everything, right? And frame is an interesting concept because a lot of guys kind of have an idea of what it is, but they don't actually understand the true definition of it, what it actually means to what it is, how to build it, how to impose it, and how important that is in a relationship. Because basically what you're doing is you're coming up against another woman's frame as well. And this is kind of like the everyday battle in a relationship, right? So teaching guys frame is one aspect of it, but also a key focus with guys is inner work, right? Because what you just mentioned there about PUA tactics and sort of like cheap tricks and things like that only actually get you so far, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're out there using these tactics and you're wearing these masks, at the end of the day, what's going to happen and what's typical in relationships is that mask drops, right? And then what happens is the real version of you actually shows up with all of your wounds and all of your scarcity and all of your fear and all of your anxious attachments, right? So what actually typically happens is like when we even just, again, make a reference to sort of PUA, right? Guys will go out and use those tactics so far, but what will happen is they're always going to default back to their inner conditioning. And then when they get into these relationships with women, the woman basically serves as a tool or a vehicle to expose where you're truly weak as a man.
Right.
And that's where things start to unravel. So I spend a lot of time with guys doing identity work, building up their true identity, what they're about, what their preferences are, trying to remove all of their shame associated with what they truly want to be. Because a lot of guys are in relationships and they're not truly operating the way that they want to be operating. Men typically shape shift within a relationship, don't they? To sort of appease the woman and sort of build around her. And what they don't understand is that the women don't actually want this, right? So there's that element of it. But then there's also going deep into the true nature of women, what they are, how they operate, what they actually respond positively to. And I think where a lot of confusion comes in terms of guys in relationships, because guys are operating using the logical brain, right, is that they spend a lot of time listening to the emotional words that come out of a woman's mouth, and they're not understanding that this is the social layer of how women are speaking to them, but really it's just a smoke screen. A lot of it's just tests.
Yeah.
And a lot of it just comes down to the guy understanding what this is and also having a very good composure, staying very centered, right? Yeah. And not being emotional themselves and not being too emotionally invested themselves into these relationships, because again, and this is an expansive topic as well, it's like,
you're already preaching, bro. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, because it's like, the thing is, and this is all the stuff that I had to learn as well, because I was going into relationships in the past, hard on the sleeve. I was getting deep into my emotions, right? And I'm not saying you shouldn't be invested in the relationship. I'm very invested in my relationships. But when we start talking about emotions, right, it's like guys are kind of brought up or absorbing the idea that you're meant to be really deeply in love with a woman. But actually, when you kind of break that down, when you're deeply in love, right? And I'm sure you've been there as well yourself before, and you've experienced that, right, bro? It's like you're so caught up in your own emotions that essentially you're like compromised
Mm-hmm.
as the, say, dominant leader of the relationship. So essentially you're basically drunk on your fucking love, mate. And that's when the woman can see that. And what guys need to understand, and we're going to kick this right off, mate, so fuck it, let's just get into it, right?
I'm ready.
What guys don't understand about women is that they are, by default, programmed to destroy you for your weaknesses.
Mm. Yeah.
It's a fact, right? And people can look at that as a negative or they can frame that as a positive. I think it's a massive positive, because when you truly understand it and when you fix your weak spots and you're able to stand planted in the ground, solid, knowing who you are as a man with full emotional control, then you're going to have an amazing fucking experience. But if you go down the other road with a woman whereby you are in those emotions and you hand over the power and you hand over the control to her, why wouldn't she? Because if she can affect you and keep control over you and twist you into very strange shapes, then how could you even protect her and lead her in the real world anyway? So
Exactly.
and I think that's where guys are struggling a lot.
Let me ask you a question. So
Please.
I often say this, and it's kind of parallels to what you say, but I just say it a little bit more less sophisticated way with a way less cooler accent. But I just say women hate weak men. I think they absolutely despise weak men.
Yeah, it repulses them on a primal level. Their biology literally rejects it on all levels. It's quite a disgusting experience for a woman, and then naturally by default her attraction and her respect just literally plummets. And then from that point on, what you basically have is a situation where disruptive behavior and disrespect goes up, and then you go into the sort of the red zone where, you know, cheating and, you know, hypergamy kicks in and she starts looking at new options, right? And that's typically how I see that working, right?
Yeah. And you know, you and I have traveled the world and dated around the world, and I've noticed that this is in every woman. It doesn't matter the country you're in.
It is. And this, I really like that you said that, because it's not specific to just a certain set of women. Like, I'll give you an example, right? And this is not to brag, so to speak. So, as you know, I live with 2 wives, right?
Yeah, but the audience doesn't know that.
Okay. So yeah, I live with 2 wives, guy. So they're we can get into that.
Yeah.
So they're 9. So the 2 girls are 19 and 21 years old. Okay.
How old are you now, Ryan?
I'm 41, brother.
41. Great.
Absolutely. So very pure. I'll be descriptive here. One was a virgin, one was a one body count, right? But even let's just talk about virgin wifey. Very soft, very feminine, just really a very beautiful little bundle of happy joy. But the reality is here is that if I drop my frame and I drop my guard and I became compromised in my emotions, she too would absolutely destroy me. So it doesn't matter if you're dealing with a girl that's got double-digit body count and she's a turbo hoe, she's probably going to destroy you anyway, as we know, by default. But no, even the purists it's hardwired into their DNA, and that's just the way it is. And when guys start to really understand this and take all of their emotions out of this and just look at the subject in front of them and the species, right? Because we essentially operate off, let's just say, iOS software, but women operate off Android. It's a completely different operating system.
Oh, that's a nice way to put that.
You understand what I'm saying? So guys are basically dealing with the woman as if they're on the same operating system, thinking they're going to get, you know, reciprocity and it's going to, you know, this is how it's all going to work out well. It's not. You're dealing with a completely different species here. And then it's like, in order to be successful with the woman, you need to actually understand her. And it's not based on what she tells you. You actually have to do a little bit of homework. And it's the same thing as well. It's like, if we think about it, bro, in business, right? Everything outside of women, whatever it is that you're going after, whatever your endeavor is, you need, if you want to take the efficient road here, you need to get coached. You need to get mentored, right? Otherwise, you're just going to fail up. And what could have been done in a year, it's going to take you 10 years to figure it out on your own, right? So
if you figure it out.
if that even becomes a reality, and that's not guaranteed. Even with mentoring, it's not even guaranteed, because then it comes down to whether you're going to implement it and you're going to stay accountable and whatever else. But it's like, it's the same thing with relationships. So whether it's retaining a relationship, whether it's acquisition and pickup, whether it's sex, these are all skills, right? And these are things that need to be invested into, and you need to get coaching, and you need to get advice, and you need to speak to people who are further on, or say have the results that you want to achieve. Because if you don't do that, you're just going to find yourself in a constant cycle, right? And you're always going to come back to default. You're going to get into relationships. It's going to go well. Guys start out typically in a relationship with okay frame because they're pretty confident. But then the feelings come in and they get invested, and then the girl exposes them. They fail all the tests, and then the whole thing unravels. They go through the heartbreak, and then I guess over time, certain guys get a little bit, I would say, maybe bitter, or they get a bit disheartened as they go along.
Yeah.
They get a bit jaded. But ultimately, what always remains the same there typically with guys is that they never actually change and get the information that they need in order to get better.
Yeah, 100%. And I think this is why you see a lot of older men, they get jaded, they say, never get married, all women are whores, it'll never work out.
Right.
That's their experience, right?
It is, and it doesn't fucking help anybody by thinking that way, right? So even on my Instagram, when I post stuff, like I've got a bit of humor in my Instagram, right? But typically I'm very serious about what I'm talking about here, and none of it's actually directed negatively against women. But guys are on my comments and they're fucking hating on women, and they're calling them whores, and they're doing this and they're doing that. It's just like, that doesn't actually impress me that much, right? It's like, that's not helping you. That's not helping anybody else. And that kind of mindset is what holds a lot of guys back, because they're sitting there. And when you think about it, when you think about hate, right? That's an emotion.
Yeah.
Right. So they're sitting in a negative emotion. They're not taking responsibility for the decisions that they made, for the women that they chose, for the way that they behaved in the relationship. So instead of actually fucking looking in the mirror, which is what most guys need to do, which everybody needs to do, particularly for men, because the answer is always in the fucking mirror. Right.
Right.
What do? They externalize it, and they blame everybody else.
Right.
Right. It was her fault. She did this to me. But in reality, guys are doing it to themselves. And that's one thing that I had to come to terms with.
Me too. I used to blame up until I was probably like around 35-ish. I was very outwardly exactly what you're saying, blaming women. These women are whores, feminists are shit. This has ruined everything. Like, but it was really like all men, everything is our fault because we're men.
It
we
is.
run the world.
It is. It's not even up for debate. And I can relate to what you just said there about, feeling anger towards women. It's even like my relationship with my mother. As I was growing up, I was feeling anger towards that, resentment, and that was carrying with me, but it wasn't serving me at all. And it's even like when we talk about, like, I'm not a red pill guy. Like, I wasn't really in that sort of thing, but I related to that and I learned a lot of stuff from it. But even just in the sort of red pill space as well, it's like there's a lot of anger there, right?
Mhm.
There's a lot of distaste.
The red pill rage.
Right. Okay. So there's a saying, or there's a line coined for it, right? So it's yeah. But how does that serve you? It doesn't serve you at the end of the day, because in that case, if you're having all this hate towards these women, then why the fuck are you even interacting with them anyway? What's the point? Because in that case, then you're going to be in a relationship with somebody that you are, essentially setting up as your own enemy, and that's childish as fuck. But I've personally have went through that myself. But if you're the kind of guy that's going to keep doing self-analytics or self-analyzing, then you're going to start to realize, like, no, they're not the enemy. I need to get better. I need to figure myself out. I need to rise up. I need to be better in my career. I need to be better internally. I need to be better with my emotions. I need to be better with this. I just need to understand what the fuck I'm dealing with. Right. So I don't then start rejecting and blaming everybody else for it. So yeah, the answer is 100% in the mirror every single time.
Yeah. I said that a couple of days ago. I said, like good old Michael Jackson, you got to start with the man in the mirror, if you want to make the change. And it's so true, because in order to be a leader, because all men must be a leader. And that's another thing. If you want to be in a relationship with women and you're not a leader, you're done. It's not going to work out. You have to develop leadership skills. And at first, you must lead yourself. And I think it's phenomenal that you say the inner work, because I call it inner game. You know, I said you have to work on your inner game, your self-esteem, your frame,
Yes.
how you treat yourself. And honestly, when you look in the mirror, you have to be ready to truly see what's there and
Shut up and take my money
and deal with it. You know what I mean?
100%. Like you have to be willing to sit in the dark room and face those parts of yourself that a lot of guys don't want to face, right? And you've got to be very honest with yourself. And you also have to be kind to yourself as well. It's like you don't want it to be self-defeating. You just have to be very realistic. It's like, okay, I'm good here, but I need to work on this, right? But also at the same token, like aside from the obvious benefits of getting better, what it also does is it gives you back power. It gives you control of your outcome, because when you externalize the blame onto everybody else, well, okay, so now they are responsible as to whether or not I'm going to do well, or they're now responsible for my emotional state. Then there's no fucking power in that. In the same way in a relationship, right? Let's bring it back to that. If I have my identity and my self-worth attached to her, and it's all in her, and she controls that, so I am less if she's not with me. If I don't have her, I am no longer as great as I was. Well, that just fucking destroys you, doesn't it? Right? And when this is what guys do, they basically give the woman their heart. They think everything that's valuable in their life is in her. And then whenever they fuck that whole thing up, or they're in the process of fucking it up, they have so much fear to actually let them go, because they don't actually have or owned or built up their own self-esteem, their own identity, their own self-worth. But when you build that up at the core level, and you get yourself to the point where you're good with or without women, because you know that you're consistent, you do everything correctly, right? You've been on the front lines, then you just understand that it's actually okay. I'm fine where I am right now. And whether she stays or whether she goes, as long as I've done everything correctly, I'm going to be absolutely fine, because my value is owned. It is not owned by anybody else. And that term inner game, I absolutely fucking love that, because even in my life right now, yes, I understand the landscape of women, and I'm totally unaffected and unfazed by things that really get guys twisted up. But just even in life in general, that is where I spend most of my time, aside from doing my tasks and brand and coaching and everything else. It's really just spending time with me and working on my inner game in life. Because that's the fucking only game as far as I'm concerned. All the rest of it's actually easy. Whenever you get the inner game correctly, everything else is actually easy. The reason why it's so hard, and I have an analogy for this. Let's see if it fucking makes sense.
You're preaching,
right?
bro. I'm getting goosebumps. No, it's like you're in my head. I love it.
Let's see if this makes sense, right? So let's just even say picking up girls, dating, fucking, having multiple women, whatever it may be, okay? These are what I call the apps on the App Store, right? And we talked about the operating system, the iOS operating system. So your inner game, your self-worth, your personal code, your identity, that's your iOS operating system. The problem is that guys are trying to install all of these fucking apps onto an operating system that is not coded correctly. So the apps are not installing properly, and they're falling by the wayside. But when you get the inner game correct, you get your operating system correct, when you go to do all of these things, right, everything's going to stick. It's going to fucking land.
Yeah.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a question for you. So first things, I kind of want to get a little to know you a little bit. So could you just tell me about, obviously you were born in Ireland.
Yes.
And just give me a little bit about, where you're born and how you kind of got to where you are now. And then I frame question.
So how open can I be here about, like,
just don't get me banned. Don't blame the Jews for anything and we'll be okay.
Oh shit. Don't even say that word, bro.
It's an ongoing joke. You'll be all right.
All right. So to preface, this is not a sad story. Okay. Certainly not how I view it anyway. All right. So when I was born, my real father left. I think it was within a couple of weeks of me being born. So it was me and my older brother. He's 4 years older than me. He's a fucking legend, by the way. Shout out to Greg Downey.
Mm.
My mom raised us alone for about 3-4 years, and then she got remarried to my stepfather. Okay. They had 2 daughters, and we all lived together. Now, I was kind of stuck in a bit of a gray area with my mother when I was younger. Let's just say it seems that she was trying to get away from anything related to my real father.
Mm-hmm.
And how I've kind of figured this out over the years is that I think I reminded her very closely to my real father. And as I was growing up with my mother, it's clear now that she had a lot of personal issues, psychological issues potentially as well. So there wasn't a lot of love in my family, right? It was just crime and punishment. And long story short, I had a very turbulent, very damaged relationship with my mother growing up. I was very lost as a young kid. And let's just say over the years, I was threatened with abandonment most of my life with my mother and stepfather. And at the age of 15, then they eventually kicked me out. I got into trouble in school for selling drugs. And then I was homeless on the streets for a number of years, where from there, I was moving from hostels to respite homes to foster care. Now, this is kind of fucked up, but the day that I got kicked out of my house, I was actually very happy. Even though I wasn't old enough to get a job, I felt very free. I was finally out of this prison. I didn't have a very nice experience growing up. I didn't feel very, let's just say, very safe there, if you will, in many different areas. So I went through that whole process, and naturally, then I got myself into some very bad circles and proper dark circles. And then this is where there's no rules anymore. There's no parents. It's me against the police kind of thing. And we're just out destroying ourselves and getting into some very dangerous situations. And I ended up in prison actually for, I got a 3-year term. I did a year for selling cocaine, amongst a number of other things. I was in cases for hijacking. I did a lot of different things, brother, you know, whenever I was younger, and really rolled the dice on life. So really, when I got out of jail, I spent a year. And when I got out, I was just working normal jobs, like kind of doing telesales stuff and, you know, business development and, you know, customer service, but really wasn't living any kind of a life. But I was still stuck in this cycle, right? I was in the court system for 10 years straight, every single year, working these jobs, taking drugs all the time. I stopped selling them. And really, I just got to the point, I think it was around about 28 years old, where I just woke up one day with just really overwhelming fucking depression. I was almost going to go back to jail for a violence offense. And it was not looking good for me. So that was really the tipping point for me. It's like, I need to find answers here. Now, to throw something in related to this, I also had a series of fucking damaged relationships that didn't work out. Ones where I broke girls' hearts, where they broke my heart, and it was all very confusing and everybody's running off their emotions. But I went on a little path of discovery from that point when I was 28. I went and did ayahuasca. I did 2 ceremonies of that. I didn't have enough money to travel to Peru because I was fucking broke. So I took a trip. I found a shaman that was coming to Europe, and I went on my own and did ayahuasca with fucking 15 strangers, and basically just came back and was like, that's it. Quit my job. I was like, fuck this. I don't know what's coming next, but I can no longer continue to live like this any longer as I am, the way that I fucking am. I just had enough of me and the character that I created and just the way that I was growing up. And that just set in motion a lot of really interesting events. Within a few short weeks, I ended up on a plane going to Asia with a one-way ticket with about $200 in my pocket and a suitcase full of holes for a telesales job. 28 years old. Yeah.
Dude, it is.
And I just went, and we didn't have communities. We didn't have groups. Like, this was, I don't know what's on the other fucking side here, but I am going. I sold my TV. All I had was a Samsung TV. Sold that. I was renting a room in my brother's friend's house, this little shoebox room. You couldn't swing your fucking cat in this thing, right? You couldn't swing your rat in it, right? And I was just like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Now, what's interesting is that was, so let's say 12 years ago or whatever, I have not been back to Ireland except for one occasion for 4 days. Once I left, that was it. I was done.
Yeah.
And what was beautiful about that for me is it's like I got out of the social prison. I created this reputation for myself. I created this character. I was living a life based around what other people thought I was or what I was capable of, almost like living in somebody else's, like, you know, your circle's image, almost in their frame kind of thing, right? Not the way that I should be doing it. But what I realized is when I got away from me and that location and those people, I realized that I was actually able to create whatever I wanted. I could create the better version of myself. I could create a better life for myself. And that's where things started to really change.
Let me jump in real quick. I want to tell you something. This is you don't even know this about me, but
Okay.
the parallels in our story are actually creeping me out, because
Really?
I don't know. Well, my father abandoned me when I was young too.
Okay.
And there was a lot of strife between me and my mom that we had to work through. And when I was I was a month away from turning 27, I had 2,700 or 2,500 bucks stuffed in my front right pocket, and I had some dingy English teaching job in Tokyo that I fucking landed.
Yeah.
And I booked a one-way ticket to Asia, and that's fucking crazy. I didn't even know this about you.
Yeah.
So,
But this I guess this makes a lot of sense. How when we first met, it clicked right away.
we just gelled. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was easy, and it's interesting because I also am very mindful about the people that I associate with and that I talk to, and I analyze people and I see how they carry themselves. And I think this is a good thing for men to be that way, is to just see the guy who's standing in front of you. They don't just get in the door right away, and I don't usually just click right away. I'm very observant on people. So, but you and I kicked it off right away, and that was cool. So
it was a wild night, bro.
we'll keep that one off the stream, big lad. Will we?
That'll get us banned. Yeah, amazing story. So keep going. Tell me. So where did you go? Where did you go?
Yeah, so I went to Indonesia. I was doing financial sales. So I was jumping between Asia and also Europe as well. But to tie it into the whole relationship thing, right? This will give you a good understanding of what sort of went down. I met a girl who, let's just say, had a very colorful history. And I was inexperienced, right? She had a bit of a decorated past, God bless her, you know? And needless to say, I mean, look, we had an amazing time together. We spent a number of years together. We got engaged. I ran out of money in Asia, and then I had to take a flight to Spain to go and get money and work. And I left my fiance behind. And then I went there driven and motivated by my love for this woman, which was actually quite powerful as well. And I went and made quite a bit of money, and I went back 9 months later and I fucking married her in Bali. And then I took her to Spain as my wife, got her the visa there, and set up a very affluent life for us.
Was she Indonesian?
She was, yeah. She is.
She is, okay.
And then as the marriage got kicking off, it became very clear instantly. Actually, it was pretty much instantly once we got married and signed the papers that her demands and her expectations of me financially just went to fucking stupid levels. And the reason why this was so significant is because I didn't cheap out on my wife. We lived in a fucking 3-bedroom penthouse apartment. It was only the two of us. We had a fucking boat in the marina, 4 or 5 holidays a year. She had cash in the bank for me, you know. And when we originally landed in Spain, the first demand that she put on me was she wanted to get her tits done. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? Man, we just dropped 70, 80K on the win. So this was just, all this was starting to come up now. And I was like, okay. And then in terms of like running the house, she wasn't contributing so much. But I will say this, we had an amazing experience together. Like, there's no negativity associated there, but it's clear in terms of the marriage that this was, I even remember my sister came to visit me in Spain. I remember saying to her, she was at the wedding, I was like, I think I might have made a fucking mistake here. And that was only like a couple of weeks after the wedding, right, when we were back in Spain. Anyway, as time went on, there was one particular incident that was the turning point for me. She had a lot of, let's say, promiscuous friends who were in relationships or married to men that they didn't actually love or invest in. It was more of a business transaction kind of thing. And they had access to their man's money. And my wife put a demand onto me one day in the kitchen, and she was like, I want access to the money. My friends know where their husband's money is. And I was, let's just say, smart enough, based on what I saw in the first couple of weeks of the marriage, was to make sure that my ducks were in a row and that the money was offshore, right? And she said, if I don't get access to the money, then I'm leaving. I said, well, it looks like you're leaving then. But that's not to say that, I mean, easy to say in the moment, but it's not to say that I didn't struggle with it as well, because then the build up to her leaving and then going off to Indonesia and, you know, her going back out partying and doing all that stuff. So long story short, we ended up getting divorced, but on the process of getting divorced, she knew some skeletons in my closet, you know, because I wasn't an angel all my life in terms of how I made money. And she was trying to turn the screws into me, to blackmail me. And needless to say, it didn't work. But it just goes to show you, you know, how that can be when you select a woman incorrectly and you don't understand the proper dynamics of a relationship, and you are leading with your love and you're not looking at this logically, because ultimately what I'm doing here, or what I did, was I was hiring a fucking CEO for my home, but I didn't put her through any fucking stages of the interview. You know, we just lived in the moment, and our feelings, you know, experiencing the instant gratification fucking shit. But when it came to actually running a relationship properly, I had no fucking idea what I was doing. And she was just, you know, operating off, you know, her experiences in life. So that came to an end.
How old was she, and how old were you at the time?
How old was I at the time? Fuck. So this was, I mean, I think this was 9 years ago. So I'm 41 now. So let's just even say 32. And she was 24 at the time. But when I say a decorated past, without being too disrespectful to her, she'd done a few things.
She's a 4-star general.
She took a good charge at it, you know. Took a good run on it, right? But even to this day now, it's like, it was interesting. I'll tell you one thing. I remember when we finally signed the divorce papers, because it was a fucking nightmare to get her over, to sign it in Spain. And she was just throwing up all kinds of crazy obstacles while she was trying to get more money. When it was all said and done, right, she had to stay in my house an extra night. So I went out with some of my friends and partied, and she went out with some of her friends. And then the next day in the kitchen, I was just sitting down. She was making food for us before she was leaving the next day. I just said to her, I said, why did you fucking do that? After everything I gave you and all the money that I gave you and this lifestyle, why did you try to fucking blackmail me? I just wanted to know. And she just fucking looked at me and said, to be honest with you, I was just scared, and I just wanted to get everything that I could for myself. And I'm sorry. And you know what the fucking crazy thing is? When she said that to me, I was like, all right, that makes sense. And she said, sorry. It's amazing what a man could actually put to bed when a woman just takes responsibility, fucking owns it, and says sorry. Because in that moment, even though she tried to rinse me and she's trying to blackmail me for a house, and I don't fucking hate her for it at all. It is what it is, and that's the game, right? But even just her saying sorry, I was like, all right, fair enough. And that's it. It actually passed off fucking peacefully. And we saw each other again. And it was cool. No bad feelings. And actually, when I look back at that experience, and this is important how you frame things, right? Because there's a lot of guys that would have went through that. She tried to blackmail me. She did this shit to me. I'm just going to carry a lot of disdain for that girl. I don't. I framed it all as a positive. It was a fucking amazing experience, right? And I'm also grateful that I had the foresight to get out of the marriage, right? So people can think to themselves, oh, well, I lost 2 years there. No, what if you were still in it for the next fucking 10 years? Everything is about how you frame it cognitively. You could frame everything as a positive experience if you actually choose to, because that's what's going to fucking serve you best. So that was one thing I was always very good at doing. And I think the reason why I became reasonably good at framing things positively is because I really went through a lot of devastating things as a young lad, right? A lot of really fucking dark moments. So it's like when you're forced into those corners, you start to learn how to fucking work your own brain to actually help you. So when something even bad comes into my life now, even if a challenge comes, even if there's issues with money, I mean, I don't really have that, but whatever the challenges may be, I just frame everything positively. This has put me in the right direction. What am I fucking learning here? And that also brings us back to the mirror.
Yeah.
Looking at yourself.
Right.
Stop being a fucking victim. right? Because men, what do men want from women, right? Men want women to fucking submit.
Yeah.
They want them to be in a feminine state. Well, how the fuck's that going to happen if you're going to act like a little bitch and you're going to blame everybody and you're going to externalize everything? No. You want that? Then this is who you fucking need to become.
Right.
So reframing all of your experiences, you know, as positive, it definitely fucking helps. But it's also about taking fucking ownership. I did these things to myself.
Yeah, we all do.
Right?
Question for you. How long did that marriage last with her?
Fucking excellent question. 18 months. And I was
Oh,
out.
okay. So, okay, because you made it sound like it was a couple weeks. So it was 18 months.
Yeah, so it changed like within a couple of weeks. You know, I could see the dynamic changing in terms of her behaviors. But sorry if I didn't articulate that properly.
No, you're cool, bro. This is a great story.
It was no, it lasted 18 months. So I was a good sport, you know.
Yeah.
I was a good sport, and I intentionally, once I saw all these, like, even like there was loads of red flags before the fact anyway, and we went through some shit before we got married. But as I saw more of these red flags and the mindset, I then held back. I'm like, I'm definitely not having kids here. I need to see how this is going to go. I'm like, I'm holding that back. And then she was like, no, let's have a kid, you know, sort of 6 months in. I'm like, nah, let's just enjoy our time together, darling. You know, let's experience the world a little bit before we go down that road. And I'm glad I did that.
Before you dated her, or before you married her, how long did you date her?
A number of years.
Okay.
Two and a half to 3 years. Yeah. So that was like that was from start to finish, from meeting to divorce. That was about 5 years.
So do you think she was playing the long game because you weren't sharp enough to pick up on this earlier enough?
No, I believe that she was deeply in love, but she was also deeply damaged as well. Because as you know, women that have been through the sexual carousel and they, you know, completely shatter their pair bonding, right? It's like when adversity hits in the relationship, then they're not as inclined to want to sit in it and actually fix things. So there was a lot of like her running away and fucking around and being, you know, difficult. So I don't think she was capable of being in the relationship. Now, do I think she was playing the long game with me? No, because she was with me when I was broke, right? When I was in Indonesia, I was fucking broke and I was, you know, just getting started. And she gave up something to come and be with me. So I don't think that was the case. But in the end, the devil revealed itself, right? And then when we think about, you know, how women operate from their own survival, right, as well, and, you know, and the negative influence as well, like, because this is a real thing, right? This is not up for fucking debate. She is the sum of the 5 people that she spends most of her time with or speaks to, right? In the same way that you and I are, which is why we're very selective about who we spend time with. Like, you and I only want to be around guys where we can exchange value, right? Guys that are good with their money, good with their fitness, you know, good with this, right?
Right.
Same thing with the girls as well, right? So she takes her influence from there. And women very much operate like, and it's not a negative, it just is what it is. They're like chameleons, right? Like they adopt to the environments they're in, just in the same way when your woman comes with you and the relationship with you, she starts to adopt to you and she becomes what you are fucking putting in there, so to speak. So she, I wouldn't say she was playing the long game, but the darkness was in there. And when it came to the crunch, she was willing to get after it. Let's just say.
We really talk about this with the guys, and you know, because inner game is it's for men or women, right? Your social, your self-esteem, your healthy psychology and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I'm of the school of thought that if your inner game is not properly healed and dialed in, no matter what kind of success you have, you'll always self-sabotage. Do you agree or disagree?
I definitely agree with that, for sure. It's something which I experienced as well, because I got to certain points where I made very good money, but my inner game was not aligned. I hadn't worked on my own, say, traumas and my own blind spots.
Yeah.
And you can literally see your own sabotaging behaviors in fucking real time if you're somewhat aware.
Yeah.
Even with the awareness, you can still do the sabotaging behaviors.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We know this because it's like, I know I'm doing some fucked up shit here, but you just do it anyway. But I absolutely agree with you. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I saw it with myself. I 100% saw it with myself. I have ruined a lot of situations in the past just because when you're because I believe inner game is directly connected to your level of self-love and self-respect that you have.
It's
And
also connected to your relationship with your ego as well, right? Because your ego can
yeah,
fuck up a lot of things for you as well, right?
yeah, elaborate on that because I haven't really touched on that part.
Well, it's a fucking expansive one, isn't it? Right?
I
We're
got all
going
the time in the world.
deep on the layers, bro. Yeah, but it's like, okay, so let's say something happens in a relationship that fucking hurts your feelings or it reveals your trauma, right?
Mhm,
It also triggers your ego as well because your ego wants to fucking defend itself.
mhm.
And also in defending itself, it's going to want to start fucking attacking to
Right,
protect you,
right.
right? And that's when you end up getting into conflicts with
Mhm.
people. Does that make sense?
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's all, I mean, it's all lined up because your ego is part of your internal, your inner wounds are all part of your internal, your self-esteem. It's all part of the one big fucking tapestry, right? But for men, it's usually our egos that get us into fucking big problems in the real world. Because you could be hurt, but you don't have to fucking lash out. You don't have to take action on people. You don't have to go after people. You don't have to be revengeful. Like, for example, when, like, where I come from in Belfast, it's a pretty intense place. I'm sure you've seen some shit on the news,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like, in my world, like living on, say, the street and being in prison and hanging around with fucking, let's just say, gangsters or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the American term. We don't really say gangsters in Belfast. That's a bit
What
gay.
what do you say?
The fucking lads, the naughty boys. But yeah, so just to give you an example, there, it's like where I come from. If somebody does something to you, you're fucking getting them back
Yeah,
every time.
yeah,
You have to get them back.
yeah.
And then you spend a lot of your time, and we're just using one fucking nuanced example here, right? But that also holds you back. So in my life now, if somebody fucks me over, as long as they don't hurt my family or hurt anybody close to me physically, or there's an immediate threat, if somebody fucks me over or betrays me or steals from me, I just let it go. I don't let my ego get involved. I don't take action. I don't go after them to get revenge, because then it's all ties back to your inner self-worth and your self-esteem. If my self-esteem is that high, my confidence is that high, my capabilities are so high, I don't need to go after somebody that ripped me off for 100 grand. I can make that back right away because I have everything internally anyway.
Mhm.
All right. So if we're just leading from the ego and everything that we do, and then this all ties in with emotional control as well, because when you're in a relationship, and I'm kind of going around the houses here a little bit,
You're
even when
good.
you're in but even when you're in a relationship, right, and your woman does something that triggers you emotionally, you feel that emotional spike, but you don't react. Right. So what I'm getting to here is with the ego and these emotional spikes, it's
Mhm.
choosing your response as opposed to an emotionally charged reaction, which essentially was
Right.
uncontrollable. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the big fucking superpower in the relationships. And when you start to really get zoned in on that, then you can start controlling your fucking reality and your
Yes.
results. And it
Yeah.
doesn't control you because you can control yourself, your ego, your emotions, and the actions that you put into the external world.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's great. I have one more question about you, and then I want to start talking about frame where
Yeah.
Western society is today and the individual man. So
Perfect.
you clearly have an expansive knowledge of all of this. So how did you learn this? Because most people never get to your level of understanding. How did this happen?
Yeah. So it was all through pain, adversity, and bad experiences in relationships. So
Mhm.
after I got divorced, I ended up in a rebound relationship with another very experienced, very wealthy girl. And this girl, I say this with respect, was as close to Satan's offspring as you could possibly fucking get, right? Which was amazing for me. This girl was basically trying to destroy me, right? So there was all kinds of crazy shit that was going on in the background, her and other guys, and cheating, and just, I was just being manipulated, and I was in love. I was totally inexperienced. I was not ready for this girl, but this girl was the one that completely fucking changed the game for me. Completely. And I ended up in such a bad spot with this girl, like mentally and emotionally, right? And I was addicted to the sex, and I was deep into my lust. Like, all the fucking weaknesses was all shining on me. I didn't have any frame at all. Sorry, my camera down. I didn't have
You're
any
good.
frame at all. I was living within her frame. I had no submission. I basically got submitted in this fucking relationship, long story short. And it got to the point so badly that, there we go, I basically broke up with this girl. I went and moved into a studio, like a fucking bedsit studio, and I basically locked myself in there for fucking 3 months. And I was just like, I need to figure out what happened here, what I did wrong, what do I need to do to make sure that this never fucking ever happens to me again. I basically, like, this is fucking it. This woman brought me to my knees so badly, and I felt so twisted fucking internally. I'm like, this can never fucking happen to me again. I need to understand what the fuck I'm dealing with. So I locked myself in an apartment for 3 months. All I did was work out, and fucking study women and read books and watch podcasts. And then I joined fucking networks, and I just went on this fucking quest. And it wasn't for me to end up, I didn't know I was going to end up teaching guys this stuff. I was doing this for me because this was a big gaping hole in my life. I had my fitness on point. I knew how to fucking make bank. I was making fucking fairly healthy money, let's just say. But again, it's like, without the women on lock, right? Your circle's not complete. And this is what was fucking me up, right?
Yeah.
In the real world, Ryan is this, let's just say, fairly charismatic, dominant, masculine guy, a guy that's fucking planted on his feet, right? But the disconnect here is that behind closed doors, I was a fucking fluffer. I was a wee fluffy. Behind the curtain, I'm getting turned inside out by a fucking 50-kilo woman. And that's fucking me up big time. And this is a problem for a lot of guys. So that started me off on the journey, bro. And I didn't fucking stop. Because a lot of, like, even in what I realized was, so as an example, I cheated on every woman that I was ever with. I cheated on my wife. I cheated on every girlfriend. And I cheated, and I hid it, and I lied. And I was just always leading this fucking double life. And I didn't have the balls to own it, because I believed that I would lose all of my women if that was the case. Right. And then it was open. The door got open to me that, like, I remember one of the first books I read was Rich Cooper, The Unplugged Alpha. That was a fucking great little book. Just as like a start, like a starter pack. Great starter pack, easy to read. And then just talking about the normal, I was like, oh, holy fuck. You can literally be honest with a woman that you would be non-monogamous and she would be close to her end. That fucking blew my mind. And I'm like, I have to have that. So now I'm like, I'm just going after this with curiosity and a lot of, like, not very refined, very raw, right? I was fucking, you get the picture, right? And
I'm laughing because that. I was saying I'm laughing because me and Rich used to be on a lot of podcasts together, and I was the one that brought that to his attention.
Wow.
I was the one, like, yeah, you could just have your side open, his audio book, and because there are a bunch of errors in it, and I did it for him. So this happened in what, like around 2021?
Let me think. There were 20, around about then. And yeah, I just kept going, mate. I just wanted to become a fucking ninja at this shit, and I really enjoyed it, right?
Yeah.
And then this whole thing in the OnlyFans space, like, blew up. I'm like, you can get women to go on fucking cam. Now I'm starting to understand. It was more so like, what is actually possible with a woman? I did not know these things were fucking possible. So there was an egotistical part of me that was like, yeah, I'm going to have multiple women and I'm going to be the fucking bad boy. And I'll just be honest, like, I was just fucking raw, mate, like proper raw. And I just, I went after it, bro. But then as time went on, I got a lot more refined with it, and I continued to invest in myself. I made sure I got put into the right fucking rooms to like learn deeper psychology of women, because look, at the end of the day, like all of this bad boy shit on the side, deep down myself, like probably a lot of guys, I wanted to have actually healthy fucking relationships. You know, I really wanted to have good women by my side, and I realized that I didn't want to have like a harem of girls. I didn't want a harem of like hoes and shit like that, because it just didn't really interest me. I wanted, my goal then was like, once I got clarity on what I wanted, which was to have multiple loving, loyal, submissive wives that I can build up and take care of and provide an amazing fucking life with and have children. And I can have that contrast so I can stay attracted to my wives instead of just being stuck with one girl where I know the attraction is going to fucking fizzle out, but have these women as assets in my life. And we just build a beautiful environment. Once I got clear on that, then that's what I'm about. And that's what has been
I love it.
created, brother.
That
And
that I was gonna
yeah,
say that's really, it's crazy because I thought maybe because your knowledge, in my opinion, is so vast. So I thought this was like a 10-year study that you've been running, but you kind of speed ran
no,
this because I'm assuming in 2021 you're about 37 or
yeah. I mean, yeah. So
36.
this, well, I'm 41 now. So this process for me has been about, it's been, I think it's been like 5 years max. 5 years max. I went fucking rapid on this. Once I got access to, the thing was is with me, once I got access to, I never had the information. I didn't know, right? Once I got the information, I fucking executed on it instantly. I didn't fuck around, right? Now, when I got to the next
Yeah.
level of understanding how and where to find pure women, well, that was a completely new, different level now, because I'm not looking for these girls in the cities, right? So I literally adjusted my entire mindset. I basically reprogrammed myself that I don't date women. I select wives. So when I meet a girl, I do not fucking, my intention is not to date that girl. My intention is to go in there, do my fucking due diligence correctly, find out everything about her past history, know everything about her. And when I know that she is pure and that we are aligned and that she's on this mission with me, I'm not fucking around. We're going straight after it. Right. So I don't date women. I select
Right.
wives. Call me the wife sniper. And it's and it worked really well. So to give you to give you an idea of the numbers, right? So in the last 3 years, I met 4 women. 3 of them became my wives, and 2 of them reside with me now. That's my numbers, and that's my dating numbers in the last 3 years. So someone very elite in this particular model, right? He taught me a lot, and I basically did away with all of the volume, and I got very precise about what I'm after. I also had to get very precise in my understanding of female psychology, female nature, and also how to say shape or train a woman to be in my life. Because it's interesting, right? When we talk about frame, like guys are like, yeah, I held my frame on that fucking test and yeah, did this. It's like, yeah, but what tests are you actually running a woman through to make sure that she's going to earn the position to be in your life? Because there's defense and then there's fucking offense. Most guys are just playing defense all the fucking time. And this is necessary because if you are, let's say, guys like us that have been through a lot of experiences, we've built our lives up correctly and our ducks are in a row. Well, the mindset when you have become the person that you need to become is that really the woman, while she is a fantastic addition to your life and is a compliment and she has got great importance in your life, she has to earn that fucking spot. And she needs to go through a series of interviews, so to speak, or vetting or little stages here just to make sure that this is aligned. Because you bring the wrong one in, she's going to fucking light your shit on fire because you've not
Yeah.
worked on yourself, right? And so I typically go into selecting women, and it's not from an egotistical standpoint, it's just logic. I go in with
Yeah.
the buyer. I go in with the buyer's mindset. I'm not the seller, I'm the buyer. And the woman has to convince me that she is, not necessarily convince me, but I have to see that she has very good inner game herself, that she is a very kind person, that she gets energy from giving, that she comes from a traditional background, that she has aspirations to have a fucking family. It's my job to mold her and make her the best woman that she could be. That is my fucking responsibility. And I take care of everything top to bottom. What I basically shop for is I go in there looking for potential. Okay. I'm not looking for the ready-made, girl that knows how to fucking do back somersaults off the top turnbuckle onto my dick and, has got all that experience and exposure. I'm not interested in that.
It's childish. It's whoredom. It's stupid. No, it's no value.
Right. I mean, not that those girls don't have utility, right? But it has to be, the use case of that has to be what it is. They're not to be put into the serious category in terms of building a family and actually having a harmonious home. So I really go in there just looking at the potential of the girl, right? And I look at who she is internally. I spend less time looking at the external. Yes, the external baseline beauty does need to be there for sure, of course, because she's got to be attractive, but we can tidy things up over time as well. Ultimately, I'm looking at the fucking human themselves, like who are they inside and what are they really about, mate? And that's definitely served me really fucking well. And then I take responsibility to mold her into what she needs to be.
Yeah,
and that's leadership. That's proper leadership, man. Right? Full responsibility.
What's great about what you're saying too is I tell guys, if you are going to get with a girl, you need to a bare minimum vet her for 12 to 18 months, because that's when the mask. I think the mask typically slips around month 6 to 9, right? That's why you have like all these girls saying,
I would say if it's a case of, let's say, modern dating life, right? I would say, look, if you're going to be dating girls in capital cities, you're definitely going to need to spend 12 months. I totally agree with that strategy. Yes. Yeah. When I go in and because I don't date girls in the city, well, I don't date, right? So I basically focus on places farther afield where it's more traditional. So when I go in there, I know I don't need to take that long. That's all. I do my due diligence correctly, spend time with the family, and then I'll know very, very fucking quickly, right? Because I'm experienced at this as well, But with
the advice the advice that
the one thing here's the one thing now. I'm sorry to interrupt, brother.
No, you're good. You're good.
In modern dating, I mean, women are wise to the game, right? They're wise to what they would say to a man to, give him the facade that they're, good girls. And fucking women are using AI to write their fucking text messages now and to go back and forth with their guys, right? So, yeah, you need to take your time a little bit.
Well, that's the advice I give to guys that are like clearly not at your level is like, if you're just a guy watching and you're not like seriously taking this journey of learning women seriously, I think it's just a good benchmark for the average guy. 12 to 18 months before you really, really commit and really, really lock in with
100%. And I think what you need to, because they talk about the fucking honeymoon period, right? Everything's easy whenever it's easy. I tend to, I'll get into that in a second, but you're absolutely right. Because they need to have some stress testing on the relationship, right? Because everything's good whenever you're sitting in a fucking 5-star hotel in a nice restaurant, you're fucking eating oysters or doing whatever you're doing, right? But what happens whenever the adversity kicks in? What happens when a problem comes? How does she react? Is she always choosing her emotions over choosing the relationship, right? Is she actually got your back? How does she react when a problem happens? Does she run off to her fucking friends and take bad advice and start doing weird shit on social media? And I mean, that's another fucking topic, right? It's just like what's actually going on there? So definitely stress testing the relationship is important. But guys need to get their frame they need to get it on point, mate.
Perfect question for you, right? To pick up from there. Okay. So how do you define frame?
Oh, fucking love this question. It took me a while to figure this one out. Okay. Let's see if it lines up with you, because I've noticed that everybody kind of has a slightly different variation on this. Okay. So this is how I explain it to my clients.
Shut up and take my money.
Got a super chat real quick. Thanks, Jacoby, $5.99 super chat. Thanks for everything you do. Yesterday's show is one of the best ever. Jesus is king. Thank you, brother. Go ahead.
Legend. So let's just say this is me, right? This is my frame. Inside of this is my reality. This is my worldview. Mm-hmm. Inside of my frame are my beliefs about myself, about the world, my perceptions, my rules, my standards, my preferences. This is my fucking reality. Okay. My reality is my fucking frame. Okay. So your frame is essentially what I call reality control, because this is the reality that I want to experience, right? This is everything that I want to happen within my reality. This is what I do not want to participate in. This is what I do want to participate in, right? And I then go out there and I impose that onto the world. But let's just say in relationships, right? As an example, in a relationship, here's how my frame is in a relationship. My woman is respectful and she doesn't speak to other men online. I don't go to grocery stores because that's fucking bullshit waste of my time. My women can do that and I'll spend my time focusing on making money. My girls don't go out drinking with guys. These are my boundaries, my fucking hard lines. Like all this stuff is all part of it, right? In my relationship, we all speak to each other respectfully and we have emotional control. So that's the idea of my fucking frame. Now, this is what happens in the relationship. That's how I see how everything should run. But the woman, she also has her fucking frame, right? Her view on how this relationship should be. What is acceptable behavior? What is not acceptable behavior? What she thinks I should be doing? What she thinks is tolerable? What she thinks is she shouldn't fucking tolerate, right? And what happens is these two fucking frames collide.
Shut up and take my money.
In the relationship. That's what happens. So what guys need to understand is that frame is an everyday battle within the relationship. It's not a battle, but it's an everyday occurrence. Now, the person who has the strongest belief in their version of reality, the most conviction, will absorb the other person into their reality. Okay?
1,000%. 1,000%.
Right? Now, what the man needs to do is he needs to, first of all, be very clear about what does he want in his fucking reality. What are his rules? What are his standards? What are his preferences? And he has to fucking own that and create that frame internally so he can normalize this frame to the other woman. But what happens is this is my frame, okay? The woman wants to live inside of my frame. That's what she wants biologically, right? Because in here, she can submit and she can be in a feminine state, right? However, she must come up and fucking test this frame through emotional chaos tests, jealousy tests, whatever it may be. She's got to test my emotional control and my resolve, because what she's testing me for here is, am I the man that I claim to be, or is this a fucking mask? Because if she comes up and tests my frame and I wobble and lose my shit and start acting emotionally or get vulnerable and act weak, well, then it's not safe for her to reside and live inside of here. So she can't submit and she can't be in a feminine state. She's got to start making decisions. Now, on the flip side of that coin, if I fail these tests and I don't have a rock solid frame, what she's going to do is she is going to impose her version of reality onto me with her rules and standards. She's going to train me into submission and she's going to absorb me into her fucking frame. And if I end up in there, well, the moisture in her fucking pussy is going to evaporate into a thin fucking mist and she is going to fucking destroy me. So guys think they just set the relationship at the beginning and, oh, we're good now. No, your frame is going to be tested periodically. And the frame battle exists pretty much every day. But the good news is, and not to make this too scary for guys, is once you establish your frame and you pass the test and you do demonstrate that you are willing to reduce your attention and you do show that you have the willingness to walk away from a woman in order to hold on to your fucking frame, she is going to appreciate that. Her respect and attraction is going to go up together simultaneously at the same time, and her tests are going to reduce. But what we need to explain to the guys here is First of all, we need to understand what the frame is, build it, how to impose it, and how to hold it. But also the mindset of a test from a woman. Guys think when they're getting tested by a woman, it's a negative. It's fucking not, you moron. It's a fucking sign of her attraction rising for you, right? So I look at tests because I understand how to pass every fucking test in the book. And by the way, guys, it's not that complicated once you understand why. Less is actually a lot more. It's more to do with your composure. But when a woman tests, I look at it as an opportunity to get more respect and more attraction. I look forward to it. It's fun. I laugh at it, right? And again, it's all framed the right way in the mind, you know? That makes sense?
Yeah. You know, when I talk about frame, I say I say frame is kind of like it's like nothing comes and attacks safe rules and regulations and the boundaries are going to be pushed into her masculine. And if she's in her masculine, she's not going to be feminine. And if she's not being feminine, she's not being submissive because it's not her nature because she has her guard up. And I think the thing now, which I want to tie into next, I think Western society is failing on en masse on a frame test right now. People give a lot of
Yes.
shit to Asian guys and say, oh, Asian guys are this or that, but Asian guys have their women in line and they do it way better than the West because the West, everything sucks because men are pussies. Because ultimately, just to be crass about it, you're not telling these chicks, shut the fuck up. That is a terrible idea. I don't want to hear what you have to say. I don't care about trans lives. I don't care about all this weird stuff that the government is putting propaganda into your head.
Yes.
You're going to do what I say, and we're going to work together as a team, or I'm going to dismiss you and I'm going to go find what I need because I don't need an unruly partner. You know, I don't need you.
Yeah.
There's two people cannot lead in a dance.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work that way, and that's why the polarity of fucking masculine and feminine exists, right? Dominant and submissive,
Right.
It's they both complement each other if they're both in the correct role. But as much as I do agree with you, like, but as much as you can be very direct about that, I basically give women the option to choose it. So it's like I'm
For
definitely
sure. Yeah, for
right
sure.
to choose it, but it's like so. I think this is going to be really useful for
One
the
of the
guys watching.
I want to say this thing. One of the number one thing a woman can do to turn me off is to not like me. Like if you don't like me, I'm like, okay, I'm see you later. Like
Yeah, right. And that's super interesting because a lot of guys are going after the women that they're really fucking into, that they're really attracted to, but that woman might not be reciprocating, right? So you cannot invest in the women. Like if my women are not fucking obsessed with me, then I'm not interested, mate. Like why would I bother with that?
Yeah.
Right. So my job is to make sure that I am that guy that they could be fucking obsessed with. And that actually really does come down to your ability to fucking hold frame and fucking lead. Right. And I just want to touch on one thing. I want to give your guys one line here that really just changed my entire worldview on women, because there is a lot of anger out there and guys get very tense when it comes to tests and frame tests. And I'm not going to coin this phrase. It was something that was told to me by someone that I have a lot of respect for. He's not a public guy, but he's a fucking ninja at this shit. He told me that in terms of dealing with your woman on a daily basis, this is super valuable. If your guys can get this into their fucking brains and adopt this, it'll change their life. If you can just look at the woman like she is a 5-year-old child and ask yourself this question. If these words were coming out of my 5-year-old daughter's mouth right now, would I take what she's saying so seriously? And that fucking blew my mind. And I was like, that's it. So what does this actually do? This takes away all of your anger. By the way, that is not me fucking speaking down on women, mate. That is me now understanding what's going on. As I dove deeper on that, it's like, so really what women are just very scared, generally very anxious, very emotional, young ladies like children.
Yeah.
And we as men have been taken so seriously what comes out of their fucking mouth and thinking that that's gospel and getting angry. So this just changes your complete mindset. Because now it's like you're a father. It's like, oh, wait, I can tell my fucking child or direct my child what to do, and I can still be nice to them about it, and I don't have to be fucking angry about it. And this takes a lot of the pressure off everybody, because this is the reality. When women see you taking them so fucking seriously, they think you're an absolute retard.
Yes.
Because deep down, they are struggling to, deep down, they are struggling to stay sane emotionally on a daily basis. So when you take them so seriously, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Yes.
And this is what guys need to know. So if you just look
Shut
at it
up
like
and
she
take
is a
my money.
child, everybody's going to fucking win.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big cheat code for me. That just changed my entire worldview. So when a woman's putting a demand on you, oh, you're not going out with your friends. If you go out tonight, I'm not going to be here in the morning. You can just smile and be like, that's cute, love. I'll see you when I get home. And just get on with your shit, right? You don't take it too seriously, and you can deflect and, I hear what you're saying, love, but we're going to go this way.
I
Let's
call
go
it
and get an ice cream.
I always call it the art of the downplay. Just like, oh, okay, yeah, okay.
I understand. So actually, because now that we understand this, and we both agree that that is true, and hopefully the people watching this will understand that that is the case, you're just going to understand that women just spend a lot of time very nervous and anxious and overthinking. And actually, the response to a lot of these tests, as long as it's not disrespect, because that needs to be checked instantly, as we know, a lot of these emotional tests is just, relax, my love. You're safe. You don't need to overthink. We're good.
Yeah.
Come on, bring it in for a wee hug here. That's actually what they needed, just calmness and reassurance, not you getting emotionally spiked and getting angry and fucking arguing with the woman.
Yeah.
That's
no, arguing with the woman is the dumbest thing you could do. It's
damaging.
It's the most anti-seductive thing you can do, because by arguing with her, you're giving like authority to her position. Like
100%. 100%. Right? And again, they don't want to be taken fucking seriously. Right?
Right.
But yeah, argument, and that was I really struggled with that, brother. Because I came from a very volatile household. Like we basically, like we're Irish, we swear, we express ourselves through anger and through arguing. Like I was brought up on that. And I thought that you had to fight fire with fire. When it came to arguing, if she was raising her voice, I had to come over the top of her. And I did that in my marriage as well, and with a number of girls. And now that I understand all of this, it's like, no, I don't fucking argue. So in my house, bro, there's never been a raised voice in my house once. No one raises their voice. Like my wife, Brittany, we've never had an argument. Ever. We don't argue. This whole thing with emotional control, but particularly with men, it's about composure.
Yeah.
When a test comes, when an emotional spike comes, it's not so much about what you say, how to respond to the test, because guys are looking for the magic line. What do I say when she says this? What do I say when she says this one? No, it's more about what you do. You could pass almost every test by saying not a fucking word and just remaining calm with a little smile and just being unfazed. If you just sat still and didn't do anything, you passed the majority of fucking tests. But typically passing a test is like 3 to 4 words. It's not a long sentence, but it's not fucking arguing, mate, because that is fluffy, son.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. A lot of guys, one thing I've noticed too, when you talk about the women absorbing the frame of the men, and I always tell the guys, the moment, because, okay, guys typically, when their frame is challenged with a woman, they think, okay, well, I have to give this to her, otherwise she's going to leave.
Right.
I have to concede this point. But what you're doing is you're conceding part of your soul. You're conceding part of who you are.
Everything.
And the thing is, when you do that, she may feel good a little bit, but the thing is, it's a bottomless pit because she's going to come back
Yes.
more and more and more. And the one thing she wants you to do is say no.
There we go. The best word, the most valuable word in the relationship dictionary is just no. And guys have grown up or been brought into this whole nice guy syndrome, right?
Ugh.
Okay. And they're afraid to say no, but the very thing that they're afraid of is the thing that's going to fucking set them free.
Exactly.
They need to be okay with their woman not being okay in that little moment of her emotion of you telling her no. But the thing is just like a child that wants candy. If you give the kid the fucking candy over and over, it didn't know it didn't fucking want it until it becomes sick after eating so much. It's the same thing with women. What they said they wanted is not what they respond positively to. And that brings us back to listening to the words. I'm not saying don't listen to what's coming out of her mouth. I'm saying it's not necessarily fucking real. It's not what she wants. It's just words. We just need to understand, what does her nature respond to? If I give her everything that she wants and I give up my preferences and I'm not living in my frame and I'm doing things that I don't want to be doing here and I'm doing it in her frame the way she wants to do it, she cannot be attracted and respect me because she's fucking leaving me. But my fear is that if I don't give this to her, I'm going to lose her. No, giving it to her is what's going to fucking lose her, big man. And what's crazy is that guys have been giving it and giving it and giving it and going through the same fucking cycle. Now you need to reverse it and just say, no, look, I understand why you want that, but we're going to do it this way, darling. And it doesn't have to be a fucking fight, right? But you have to say fucking no, because the thing is that that is what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
because they don't feel safe if you're a total pussy conceding to every demand. She's like, so if I can manipulate you, these idiots out in the world can manipulate you. And
shut up and take my money.
She looks at herself and she's like, she's like, she's like, I'm not that special and I'm able to manipulate you. Then, your boss will be able to manipulate you, or this girl might be able to manipulate you.
Yeah, because she knows,
and
she knows deep down she's a little emotional terrorist, right? And she knows she's only 50 kilos, and she knows she's got the hooks into you, right? So again, if she can control you like the puppet master, then and this is the thing, right? This is where it gets a bit sketchy for guys, because that woman, when she takes control, right, and she has you in frame and she's got you fucking twisted up in all directions, she'll continue to extract resources and use you as an energy source while she's, going the other way. And that's where it gets
looking for a new guy. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
they will, women, when they know they got you, they despise weakness so much. They will drain every single resource out of you. They will squeeze you dry of everything, emotionally, financially, physically, and then she will leave you and not even lose one drop of sleep at night.
I've now come to the mindset that I think she should fucking do that, because it's the only fucking way that men are going to fucking learn. Now I look at that part of the woman as a feature. I don't look at it as a bug, and you can call that cognitive reframing as well, because men need to get their fucking shit together.
Yes. I think
men need
right
to get
now,
the fucking ducks in a row, mate. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a positive.
Because it's kind of, I think it is connected to the, it's kind of a popular saying nowadays: hard times create hard men. Yes. Hard men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create bad times. And in the Western world right now, we're
at the final stage now, right?
Weak men heading into hard times, because
we're in the fluffy phase now. Right.
We are heading, the Western world everywhere is in chaos. Ireland's in chaos. The UK is in chaos. France is in chaos. America is in chaos. Canada's in chaos, because the collecting point here that is, unifying all these nations is they have uniformly bought into this feminism bullshit. And the feminism bullshit, all that is, it's not about women's empowerment. It's not about anything. It's about making women debt slaves. And it's
100%. They made them fucking debt slaves. But here's another thing as well. I think the biggest scam being run here is being run on the women.
Of course.
Not on the men. right? Because by the time they hit fucking 30, you can't unring all of those bells. By the time they come out of the hypnosis and the reality of their life choices kick in, it's too fucking late. Bro, if like you and I went dead broke tomorrow, like, and we were on the fucking streets, we could be fucking superheroes and millionaires within 24 months and we can go at it again. The girls can't do that. So it's kind of unfair, like how that's fucked them up a little bit, you know. But in terms of like men in general, and we talk about frame is about fucking setting yourself free and to stop enslaving yourself. Like, just even look at the little nuances in a relationship. There's things that guys are doing in relationships. Like, as an example, they're out at fucking brunch with their fucking woman and her friends, and they're sitting there going, why the fuck am I sitting here? I don't want to be here, but I'm fucking here. Why? Because I don't want to say no to her because she's going to fucking leave me. And they're just running around in this woman's fucking reality. The reality that they live in is not their chosen reality. It's not their preferred reality. They're living somebody else's fucking version of it, and they hate it. And then in turn, they fucking hate themselves. And then they become so resentful and so fucking bitter. So it's like, why did you become an entrepreneur? To set yourself free financially so you can have fucking options. You don't get into the relationship to become imprisoned. No, we've allowed ourselves to be enslaved and imprisoned. But the reality is here, and this is cool, I think, when we become who the fuck we need to become, and we lead our fucking families correctly, and we guide our women correctly with love and fucking respect and with care and with fucking attention, we set all of us fucking free.
Yeah.
Her as well. We free her from the enslavement of working some shit job. So I have to become a 7-figure guy to take care of my women. You know, like, for example, I'll give you a peek in the window into my house, like how our family home is like set up. So 2 wives live with me. My 6-year-old daughter lives with me that was from a one-night stand. Okay, I've got full custody. She doesn't go to school. She is homeschooled.
Good.
My wives don't fucking work. Okay, they don't have the burden of any of that. I take care of everything fucking head to toe. I'm old school. That's the way it's got to be.
Yes.
My women's daily life, I'm like, as a guy, I'm very low maintenance. I have staff at home. I have maids and stuff. So everything's very well oiled. It's done correctly. So my women, what I want for them is just to wake up and just be genuinely happy. Obviously a little bit productive, but I don't need much. Like, I'm talking me. What do I need? Fucking tea, coffee. I've got my supercars. I've got everything I need. I'm good. I don't need a lot, but I do need fucking peace. But their role is to wake up and work on their inner game every day. So in our home, we wake up and the girls they read the Bible, they do their gratitude lists. We've got the ice bath there. We do the saunas. We work out 6 days a week. We're all on a self-development fucking routine, right? And we live within this beautiful little bubble that is very harmonious. In our home, there's no bad moods. You're not allowed to be walking around here in a fucking storm. You either come and we communicate properly and we fucking sort it out immediately. Otherwise, whoever's causing the problem needs to leave, because we need to ensure that we protect this whole environment. It's bigger than just one person, and we're all fucking building this thing together, which is super important. And that's how we fucking run it, mate. Like, we keep out all external influences from our life.
Yes.
Social media, negative fucking family members, because we all fucking have them, right? And it's not that they're doing it intentionally, but they're just putting the wrong ideas into the head.
Right.
I'm talking, social circles. Like, basically nothing gets into our bubble, mate. Right. So my job is not just to protect them physically, it's to protect them mentally and spiritually. So my wives get to wake up and be happy every day. They get to work on themselves. They get to do things that they enjoy to do, like their own personal little fucking hobbies. They take care of me, obviously. We share great fucking experiences. And I just spend all of my time working on me, becoming the best version of me, and making sure everybody's fucking taken care of, and they in turn take care of me, and we're all aligned on the same fucking mission. And nobody fucking gets in here, because when we start bringing in all these people outside into the mix and all the bullshit that's going out there, like you talk about in the West, all of that is just coming in to fucking intoxicate and destroy what we fucking have. So we have a very peaceful, happy life. Yes, it's an affluent life, right? Fair enough. But we have like a family sort of tagline or a motto. It's, we enjoy the simple things in a rich environment. And that's how we operate. We enjoy simple things like little coffees and you know, sitting doing ice baths together and just doing, you know, just having a fucking family, mate. The only difference here is that I've got 2 wives, and you know, that's that raises, you know, a few eyebrows, but it's done professionally and it's done with a lot of care. And yeah, does that
Yeah.
give you a little peek in the window? It's just like how we sort of see things and operate a little bit.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. I love it because I'm a big, I tell guys the most masculine thing you can do is whatever you want to do. Right. And you got to get out there and create your own reality. If I go to a restaurant and like the guy tells me to like sit in this chair, I'm like, you know, it irks me. I'm like, you know, I really just don't like to be told what to do by anybody. You know what I mean?
I think women find it very attractive when you do the things that you want to do. And I'll add to that, whatever I want to do, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't run my decisions through a woman's filter. I run it through my own filter. Is this what I want? And I'll do it. But anyway, carry on, brother. Sorry.
Well, because when you get into that, because here's the thing, and it truly disgusts women. When you start running to her and getting her approval for everything, now you've made her your mother. And women despise that. They don't want to be your mommy. You know what I mean? They want to be a woman. And you running up there and, oh, you know, can I do this? Can I go drink with the guys? Can we do this? Can we do that? Like, dude, you're a man. Like, what are we doing here?
You get punished for making the woman your god. By worshiping her.
No.
So if God is real, he is punishing you because you are worshiping fucking her, and you've forgotten where your strength comes from and your mission and what's important. Yes. Yeah, because you're not fucking leading. So I think there's kind of like a universal law there.
Yeah. When you lose yourself, you lose everything. You know, as a man. And I mean like your core, your frame, everything. And everything, I think the number one thing that men don't realize is the most important thing for a relationship is frame. And you can't have frame without a leader.
It's the everyday operating system of the relationship. It's like, I'll give you an example, right? Of being able to do whatever you want, because the guys, I don't need permission from anybody. Whatever I want, I give it to myself. I have to give it to myself. No one else is giving it to me. For example, if I finish this stream with you right now and I walk into the kitchen and say, right, ladies, I need to jump off to Thailand here. I'm going to be away for 4 days. There's no fucking issues. They're going to be a little bit sad. They're going to give me kisses. They're going to help me pack my bag. And then when I come back home, there's going to be the fucking hero's welcome. If I decide I'm going away to stay in a hotel for fucking 2 nights, they don't know where I'm going. They don't know who I'm going to be with. There's no fucking complicated conversations. They respect me. They understand. They know that I have my fucking shit together and everything works. So I don't have to explain myself. It's not like that. And I'm fair with the power. And this is what guys need to understand. Men need to become who they need to become. They need to have the power on the relationship and how things fucking run. They need to wield that power responsibly. Okay. And they need to be good fucking leaders instead of being dickheads and damaging their girls and just, you know, wrecking hearts, right?
Yes.
Now, give that power to the woman. With all of her emotions. She is not capable of wielding that power responsibly. And she doesn't want that fucking power anyway. She's just testing you to see if you'll give it to her. But if you give it to her, again, she is programmed to fucking destroy you for it. So every time you run a decision through the filter of your woman and you live within her frame, she is just taking more power, more control from you, getting more disgusted with you. And this is why when you look at, let's say, even the divorce system, right? And what goes on there and the ruthlessness of how women will just fucking chainsaw a man in half. Like, it's got to be in the fucking DNA at the lengths that they will go to. The guy that she used to sleep in the bed with, she will literally rip the kids out, destroy him, chainsaw him in fucking half. So what does that tell you? You need to keep it in the win-win column, i.e. your frame And the way to keep it on your side is to exert dominance.
Yeah.
It's the only fucking way, because if you give that up and you hand it over, you know, and actually everybody loses. She loses as well, even though she took the money and all the rest of it. But look, nobody wants to be fucking living in that existence. So the polarity needs to be there. So clear on what you want, who you are, what your preferences is, what you're a fucking about, where your hard fucking lines are, that your value is yours. And then you need to fucking stand on that fucking hill, and you need to not fucking budge. And who's right for you is going to come in, and they are going to, first of all, accept your frame. And then they are going to get absorbed into your frame, and then their beliefs become your beliefs. Their worldview becomes your worldview.
Yeah.
Oh no, your worldview becomes her worldview.
Yes.
And then that's where everything is fucking harmonious. Because it's like, now, like, for example, when my women came into this relationship with me, they didn't think they were coming in to a double wife fucking setup. Like, they grew up all of their life, right? You know, I'm going to get married, I'm going to have the big day. And of course, I don't sign marriage contracts and do any of that shit, right? Because that is a scam. But it's amazing how now it's like, okay, us living as, you know, multiple wives and me, and, you know, we're not married on fucking paper. They've adopted my worldview and my beliefs, and they actually think that that is normal. Whereas before, they didn't feel that way. And how that came to be, they could only adopt those beliefs in that worldview was by me having a very clear view of what my frame is and allowing them to be absorbed into it. And now it's just, that's their frame now.
It's the reality.
That's the reality. So you asked me earlier, what is frame? Because we kind of went through a lot of different things on it. To me, frame is reality control. That's what it is for me.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I mean, and it's the
been a good
most
conversation, mate.
yeah, dude. I feel like I'm a student here learning, you know, and it's like it's crazy how there's so many parallels between our stories. I have a couple more questions since the guys have sent in some questions they want to ask you.
Okay.
So now tying it into, because we're both Westerners, right?
Yes.
Where is Western society failing in teaching frame to men and women? Like, why is it falling apart? Why is everything a muck right now?
Well, to be fair to this question, I've not lived in the West for over fucking 10 years, right? I only see, I don't, it was by design, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everything's just running off the same fucking script. It's just that it's just got progressively worse, right? Because I know all that stuff about LGBT fucking Q or whatever you call that shit, you know, putting all that. This is why my daughter's homeschooled as well, because we keep her away from all this crap, right? You know, the whole hypersexualization of the youth now, right? With social media, with TikTok, you know, girls are on there like fucking dancing monkeys, mate. It's just, they've just fried everybody's fucking brains, mate.
Yeah.
You know, they've pulled everybody away so far from any kind of traditional values. And it's not that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but it just seems like there are forces at work there that are trying to fucking destroy the family unit there to some degree. Because this makes no fucking sense why you would go down this road and this fast culture. It's fucking brutal. I don't even know if I'm answering this question properly. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, because it's just, I've not been around it, mate, but it's clear that it's not fucking working. Right. You talk about the feminist movement, right? I'm not really big on talking about that shit, but it is relevant. You know, they basically pitted men and women against each other. And you made a good point there, which I think has some accuracy. I'm not sure about making them fucking debt slaves, right? It's just about 100%. enslaving everybody. And, you know, well, let's just put it this way. I mean, if we really want to go down that rabbit hole, if they can fucking convince men to cock themselves and enslave themselves to their wives and to fucking shatter their testosterone, then it's very unlikely that men are going to be able to stand up and fucking rebel against any nations, right? Because their women have already got it on their wraps, right? That's a little bit far down the line potentially. But in terms of men being in the West, like, it's like, look, don't fucking complain about it. If you're aware of it, okay, cool. I'm aware of it. So if I want to find a good wife and I want to have a good life, well, I don't go to the fucking West.
Yeah.
Right. And then you hear all this shit about passport bros. Oh, passport bros. Like, no, dickhead. I'm going where I'm fucking treated best. That's where I'm fucking going, mate. So I'm not going the away. I'm not going in there to meet some fucking jumped up hoe that's got 20 bodies, you know, full of her ideas of the world and try to make her into something and project a fantasy onto her. No, that's fucking retarded. Right.
Yeah.
So if I have the awareness, it's like, no, again, taking responsibility for your outcomes. No, I'm going to make X amount of fucking money here, and I'm going to go and position myself somewhere on the fucking map that is more close to the outcome and the way of living that I want.
100%.
It's just ownership, right? So
I always tell the guys, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. You know?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Go where
I
you're
like
celebrated, not where you're tolerated. We got some super chats here from some of the guys. I want to knock these out because there's some good questions. I saw one that he didn't send a super chat, but I do want to highlight this one. First question is thoughts on sharing your location with your girlfriend. It's elementary for us, I know.
yeah. So it's there was a good line that my stepfather said to me once. He said, "Don't do as I do, do as I say."
Yeah.
No, if you share your location to your woman, that is being fucking submissive. It's being fluffy, right?
Yeah.
Again, when we talk about being in frame and leading our women, your woman can certainly share her location with you, absolutely.
She should.
And yeah, she should do, right? Because we like to know where our girls are at all time. And also just these types of sort of compliance tests or requests that we ask from our women, it's just to see as a mark of respect that she is submissive and that she's going to give it to us. It's not that we think she's going to fucking run off and do anything, right? Now, guys are afraid to ask for these sort of things in the relationship. One, because they're afraid of getting rejected. They don't want to upset her or whatever. But they're also afraid, yeah, but if she says to me, well, if I'm doing it, then you need to give me yours, right? And then guys are like, I don't know how to respond to that. It's very simple. That's cute, my love. But no.
Yeah.
Send me the details. And that's it. And it's not what's good for the goose is, I don't really like that saying, to be fair.
Good for the gander.
Good, yeah, good for the goose, good for the gander. I think Rich Cooper says that a lot. I think I've heard him say that. Yeah. Again, you've got to be in fucking frame. Don't be sharing your location, mate. That's gay.
Yeah. We got another one from ISOU I9, $5 super chat. How do you approach women in a major city if it's a girl you feel like they make more money than you or might just have more things going on for them?
So you're not seeing yourself as the A side here, brother, right? And typically guys will look at a girl, let's say in corporates, or she's got a PhD, and they'll put her on the pedestal above them because they have like social status or whatever. It's fucking nonsense. I look at a girl that's, let's say she's operating a trading desk in Goldman Sachs. I don't see her as a high value woman. I see her as potentially a problematic woman, right? That's got too much experience. I'm not really interested in that because she's got a very masculine way of living. So I don't really approach women in the major cities anyway. Right. But don't be thinking that she's more than you. Right. And the reality is look, in the relationship dynamics, if you're meeting girls to potentially have a relationship with them, it's better that you make more money than they do.
Yeah.
That's just the way that it is. Right.
And
it's just,
if you're a man in the Western world too, there's really no excuse for you not to have money. It's everywhere. You know, the opportunities are everywhere for guys in America. And if you're a guy in the West and you're still struggling after the age of 35 financially, that's on you.
But just on this question, how do you approach a woman in a major city? The same fucking way that you would approach any woman. It doesn't matter whether she has a PhD or she works at McDonald's. Don't treat these women any differently, right? Yeah. Your approach is your fucking approach, because that is an example of how you would shape shift yourself around oh, but she's so beautiful. So guys might be able to operate with good framing a girl that they think is fucking less than them, but they see a girl that's really beautiful, and then they start fucking unraveling and changing their, the way that they behave. They start pedestalizing her. No, it doesn't matter whether she's a fucking 9 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10. Operate the way you would operate, and don't treat them any differently.
Mm-hmm. That I'm gonna segue something into that. So you're talking about men changing themselves for women.
Yes.
What is your opinion on this whole looks maxing thing that's happening right now?
It's a bit fucking fluffy, no?
It's very gay.
It's just a bit fucking extreme. Like, we all want to look better, right? Like, I think we should always try to look better. Your appearance, how you dress, your fitness. Like, I got my fucking teeth done. I'm not against that. I just think there's something very strange behind that. It's like, we're talking about fucking jaw surgeries and nose surgeries and all this weird shit. And it's like, is that encouraging people to not do the fucking inner work? Or you don't need to build yourself up internally. You can literally just go and pay this guy, and he's going to change your fucking face, and you can just go and fuck all these girls and be a cunt. And you don't actually have to build any real value in the fucking world. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I just think it's being pushed to such an extreme, looks maxing. It's like, fuck off, mate. Right?
Like,
because
wearing makeup as a man and all that.
I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not a vain guy. Yes, I do have weak spots internally where I like vanity, and I definitely want to look good. But it's like, you got to stay on top of yourself, because in terms of like women, yes, money is important. Looks are actually not as important as guys actually fucking think. What women are attracted to is your fucking behavior and your status.
Yeah.
Right.
Your
looks
aura.
is actually exactly right. So as long as you are, above average in looks, but you've got amazing fucking frame, you're a charismatic guy, you've got your ducks in a row, you understand her and what makes her really fucking tick, i.e. her nature. Yeah. So looks maxing, I think it's fucking fluffy, mate.
Yeah.
It's a step too far. What's your thoughts on it, bro?
I think it's very feminine. And I think it is kind of a sign. Are you familiar with the mouse utopia experiment?
Is that where they like gave them fucking cocaine and shit and like made it, or no? Was that where they made it like the fun fair? Like
no,
it was
they
just all
made
fun.
Everything was just provided for. They had unlimited food, they had unlimited water, and everything. And
yeah, they were like miserable, and they started to stop having sex, and they like the whole thing like died out. Is that what it is?
The men started becoming homosexual. The mice men started being gay, and then there was a group of men that formed in the mice colonies, and they repeated this like I think several times as well. I think something like a very high number, like 20 times, right? Okay. And towards the end, the men rat would get really obsessed with the coat of their fur, and they would just be like, they were known as the beautiful ones, and they would just stay in the corner and make themselves beautiful.
Oh, and then now I'm talking about giving mice cocaine, because I heard some experiment they were giving.
Yeah, I've heard that one too. There's that. I have that's my psych degree behind me. That is a very popular study too. The mouse cocaine study.
Okay, so I wasn't fucking off when they were going to go, what is this guy talking about here?
No,
yeah. If that's where we're at, that's fucking scary, mate. It's just like, look, guys, I think this is why the conversations, I think that what we've talked about today is actually fucking, there's a lot of value there for your guys.
Shut up and take my money.
I think guys just need to really see what's going on and break all of this fucking programming and all of this bullshit. You just have to start setting yourself fucking free, and sometimes that just means letting go a lot of things that are in your fucking life, a lot of people as well, and just starting fresh, and just like whatever I build here internally and also externally, I'm going to fucking own it, and it's not going to own me anymore,
A sign of the times too, man, is like when you're looking at I personally being here in ground zero, in America. All right. So one of my friends, he was out, it was after hours, like, you know, the bars were closed and there was like food trucks out there, right?
Sure.
And he saw this guy at the food truck, right? Ordering some food. Some random girl walks up to this guy and she's like, "Hey, will you buy my food for me?" And he was like, "Okay."
I've seen this. They were doing this on fucking social media as well. I hate that.
Mm-mm. No,
Like,
it's
yeah.
it's
Men are just being fucking pussies, bro. It's just like, it just shows you how fucking thirsty guys are. Because you know what, actually, this is one thing we didn't touch on. And that's now just brought that into my mind.
We'll have you back. But keep going.
Guys are just fucking leading with their dicks. They're so fucking thirsty to get their dick in there.
Yeah.
And they're controlled by that fucking lust. And that woman's pulling up, you know, will you buy me this? Will you do that? I'm like, oh yeah, sure. It's like, bro, fuck off, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off, mate. You deserve everything you're getting right now, you know? It's brutal.
Yeah. We got a couple more questions.
Sure.
We got 1, 2, 3 more. Mitchell Amaya, $20 super chat. Thanks for the big super chat, big guy. He says he was in her frame. I believe Carl Jung calls that anima, which is the feminine part of a man's personality, but also following her expectations, not his own. But if he has his own expectation, which is his masculine unconscious mind.
Okay, so that's more of a statement.
Yeah. And then Jacoby with the €5.99. There is this one girl that works at the local tanning place I go to regularly. You guys have any advice for pursuing her? I think, you know, just what he said earlier. Just say what's up. Shoot your shot. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
But just be mindful, if you go on a fucking date with her and you go to that tanning place regularly and it doesn't work out with this girl, you're going to find a new tanning salon, bro. So don't shit where you eat as well. Same thing with the gym, like, right? So I would never, I would never be hitting up girls in the fucking gym because that's your temple, right? But yeah, don't treat her any differently, mate. Look, I think guys need to approach these things being a little bit more outcome independent, right? It's like, fucking relax. It's the same thing with tests. It's the same thing with approaching women. You just need to be light on your fucking feet, right? Be light on your feet. Don't take it too seriously. Be happy. Say hello. Ask for the fucking Instagram. Off you go, mate. You get it, great. If you don't, who gives a fuck? Move on to the next one. It's one person. Because all the time that you're spending analyzing this one girl, you probably could have talked to like 20 girls. You don't just, when you see a lead, you don't have to fucking stop and figure out the approach. Just be a little bit bolder, be a little bit light on your feet, a little bit more outcome independent. Stop stressing yourself out about it, mate. All right? It's no big deal.
It really is not a big deal.
It, right?
Last one from Retard Tracking System, $4.99 super chat. He says, thoughts on your girlfriend wanting to check your phone?
3-word response. Cute.
Go to hell.
But no. But while we're on the topic, my love, pass me your phone, please. What's the code? Right? So again, no, that's not the way it works. It's totally out of frame. Right? So it's like, look, guys need to understand that as the leaders of their relationships, the man is responsible for governing himself. That is why a woman will follow him. The woman will not follow him if he allows her to govern him.
Yeah.
So when you do that and agree to that because it seems fair, it seems reasonable, all of this stuff that seems like reasonable requests and conditions put on you by a woman is a very fucking slippery slope. You must govern yourself. You must be self-sovereign. That is what the woman will be attracted to. So when the woman does that and tries to get you to do it, that is a test of your fucking masculine stability of your frame. So cute, but no, my love. And do it with a smile on your face. Always with a smile on your face.
Trey, I think you left because I was checking if you're in the chat, but you came back. He's $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Trey. He says red pill gets better once you get over the rage and just look at understanding women. And that's the backbone of this all is understanding women.
100%. And then what happens is that you can now come back to being a normal human being as a man.
Yeah.
Calm, So when there's an issue with, say, one of the girls, and it happens very rarely, but when they're emotional, it's not a big fucking deal. We can just be chill. I understand what's going on now. Most of the time, they're just struggling internally with their emotions. They're scared and they're fucking anxious. So why would you be angry at that? So you're absolutely right, bro. Once you get past all that red pill shit and you start understanding women, you can actually operate from a place of fucking empathy, authority, and you can also be nice as well about it too. All right.
Yeah.
And this is a much better place for everybody to be in. This is where you get much more cooperation, and that's where the conflict fucking goes away. Right?
Yeah. And then last one here, Alpha, the first one, his question is frame the same as having a strong backbone. Good show.
Yeah, so it's part of it, right?
Yes.
It's a big part of it. It's not all of it, right? But yeah, I mean, you could boil it down to that, I guess, if you tried. You know what you want, you know who you are, you know what you represent, you know what your lines are, you know how you want it to be, and you stand on it. So you have the backbone to fucking stand in on what it is that you truly want. So yeah, it's part of it.
Ryan, this has been an amazing show. I am so glad that we had you on here. I truly believe it's fate that brought us together.
Agreed, brother.
So, guys, thank you so much for being with us here on the Game Room. Again, you can follow Ryan on Instagram and his YouTube channel. They are linked in the description box below. If you want to get more help from either of us, reach out to us. You can join my Telegram. It is also in the link below. The Telegram is free. And that being said, we will catch you on the next episode of the Game Room. Have a great day, boys. See you later.
Thank you for having me, brother.
You're welcome.